This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, Reds fans, and welcome to another fantastic night here on the POSTCAST, brought to you by the Locked On Reds Podcast Network and the Locked On Media Provider. My name is Tim Daniel. I've been covering the Reds in podcast form for 5 years at different publications such as the Riverfront and Late Night Reds. If you are checking me out here on YouTube, obviously know we are here for free. You can check me out for every single game, which apparently we're going to have one of those every day till May 12th. So you can catch me daily during that time frame. You can also check out my good friends Jeff Carr and Stephen Offenbaker Monday through Friday on the Locked On Reds podcast on the same feed. No paywall required, and we're all in your podcast app of choice. And tonight, we are discussing, let me get my camera situated. What's going on with me tonight? 5 games in a row. I'm way too excited. Like Cincinnati Reds winning their 5th game in a row tonight against the rival St. Louis Cardinals by a final of 3-1. And it was a beauty. We're going to talk about quite a few things tonight, guys. We're going to talk about Gavin Lux having an unbelievable game. Obviously, what he's meant to this team so far since he's come over has been incredible. Nick Martinez joins in on the party, the starting rotation. And we're going to get to Jose Trevino's big home run as well, amongst other things, because there's a lot to talk about. This was a beautifully won game. All 3 facets, offense, pitching, defense. There was a lot to be really excited about today. But of course, let's go ahead, guys. Let's get started with the show.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Let's start with Gavin Lux. I mean, we've talked about him a lot this year, obviously. We've talked about what he's brought to the team. We've talked about everything he's done, how he's playing third base. He's playing left field when he's really a longtime second baseman. Had a little bit of a different situation today. He had his first experience with the 640 Sun at Great American Ballpark today in the first inning on the first batter when Lars Nootbaar hit that ball over him. Hey, didn't end up meaning anything. They scored, and the Reds end up scoring 3 unanswered from there. So that was great. So no fault to him. But I've really liked his defense this year, really. Honestly, I have, especially at third base, especially in left. Why do I keep on saying third base, guys? Like, what is too excited? Especially with how he's played in left field. I think he's been terrific. So then he comes up and he gets a double. It gets stranded. Next at bat from there, gets a single, and then Noelvi Marte knocks him in on a triple. So that was pretty awesome. They scored from first. So he's got that old Scott Rowland first to third. That's how we do it in Cincinnati, but he was first to home. So obviously fits right in with how Cincinnati fans love to see their players play. And then that big RBI double that he hits to bring in Austin Hayes really kind of was the biggest part of the game. Put them ahead 2 and let the bullpen kind of get a little bit easier. So just an unreal game. So his stat line right now is incredible. I mean, no other way to put it. 352. He's got a 911 OPS. Just flat out crushing the ball. Only has 1 homer, but I can live with everything else he's doing. And then if you look at his last 7 games, 462 batting average, 533 slugging. 533 on base, 692 slugging. Let's go a little further. Last 15 games, 451 batting average, 541 on base, 608 slugging. Needless to say, he's been very good. And he just hasn't even been he's still learning how to play with the Cincinnati Reds. He does, some days he's playing second base when McClain needs a day off. Some days he's DHing. Some days he's in left field. I think the thing that jumps out to me is also about him. He doesn't strike out a lot. And I knew about him, obviously, from his time in LA and so forth. So thought that what he's been doing has been pretty awesome. So Hollywood says MVP Gavin Lux. Yeah, you might be onto something. And Jimmy says it here. Thanks, Dodgers. I talked to someone about this on Twitter today that kind of brought it up. And excuse me, I made the joke that I really like to thank the Los Angeles Dodgers for picking him to be the guy that they thought was just one too many pieces for their team. Don't get me wrong. They definitely could afford to move on from just one guy with how things are going. But he's been nothing short of phenomenal for the Reds. And I'm sure he's going to, have a moment where he kind of comes comes back down to earth a little bit, but the way that they're playing right now, it's hard to just not feel like everyone's doing what they need to do. Oh, I like this, William. Gavin Lux. That's really funny. I like that. Yeah, that's coming up. I'll talk about that today too for a second, but I want to leave that as much as I can for Jeff and Steve on their show as well. I've seen the comments. So, guys, this ball club's really good, right? I think we're at this point now where, look, there's still a lot of time to go, and a lot of these guys are playing way over their expectations, and I get that. But right now, it's hard to not feel really good about them. Lux right now with what he's doing, him and Ellie De La Cruz continuing the same hit streak together as they're both now at 12 games. They both had similar stat lines today. That was pretty cool. So, and then Ellie made some pretty awesome plays today as well. Patrick says that a happy April. Yes, a happy April indeed. The Reds are now a season best 3 games over 500. They are a game out of first place. And yeah, Josh says right here, if you take the 24-run game out, they're still averaging 5.15 runs a game since Austin Hayes came back from injury. So this is not the whole, everyone was doing that with Ellie when it was like, if you take out his game against Texas, he's only doing this. None of that. None of that at all. So 5 straight wins. And of course, it always feels good when you beat the Cardinals, doesn't it? That's always pretty fun as well. So I love what we got today. I loved how this game played out. I thought it was a great game, all 3 levels. Defense was so good today too. And then, minus the Lux play, but you can't blame him for that. If someone blames for that, they just choose to be sad. And then if you look at also just the way they pitched the ball, which we're going to get to most of that here in a second. Bullpen was great today as well. I got a lot to get to on this one. This is one of those games that there's a lot of layers. This is a big onion of Monday night against the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. So let's go ahead and move on to that real quick. Nick Martinez finally decided, I see the 4 guys in front of me pitching really well. It's my turn now. I'm going to join in the fun. Let's talk about it here in just a moment. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get on the action. I really hope you didn't bet on the Miami Heat tonight. If you haven't seen it yet, yowza. Good season for the Heat. Not really, no. But right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Hopefully you bet on the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight because, oh boy, are you winning. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props. I saw Jeff shared his Hunter Green Cy Young today on the show. I was really mad because I wanted to use that one. But I'll tell you what, should we start looking at Emilio Pagan, potential Rolaids reliever of the year for the National League? Is that a conversation we can have? Plus, after the game goes forward, you can even combine live prop bets to a same game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. There's nothing like better than catching an MLB game live. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of ballpark food. And if you're ever looking to go last minute, Gametime makes getting tickets easier than ever. With last minute deals, all-in pricing, and the lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as game time gets closer, meaning you can score an incredible deal. Me, I'm thinking Sunday, the Washington Nationals are coming to town. It's a late afternoon game. I'm going to have to take advantage of game time. I'm going to have to head down there, maybe grab a margarita at Condado, enjoy myself. Wife and daughter are going to see the in-law, so I got this Sunday to myself. I feel like that's the day to go to the ballpark. It's a late afternoon game because of the Flying Pig, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Thank you all for hanging out with me yet again tonight as we celebrate our 5th straight win for our beloved Cincinnati Reds. What a great day for that. I want to also make sure that if you are checking me out for the first time, you're subscribing to me here on the YouTube channel, or if you're checking us on your podcast app of choice behind no paywalls, free of charge, you be sure to subscribe to us there. Maybe leave a nice review if you can. And of course, check out my good friends, Jeff Carr and Steven Offenbaker on Locked On Reds, Monday through Friday on this exact feed. Carrie, you did hear that right. 3 double plays tonight. And I meant to get that as a segment, but they only give me 15 to 20 minutes here. So I had to kind of pick and choose what I talk about. But I do real quick want to make mention. The athleticism of the defensive infield right now. Marte at third, Elliott short, McLean at second, Steer at first. It's pretty unreal. You're gonna have to smoke a ball to get through the hole on that defensive infield. And when Stevenson comes back, he's probably he's the best athlete of the 3 catchers as well. Depending on what they do with him, there's a lot to talk about with how that's going to work out. So defense was absolutely incredible. Patrick, it's a great question. It's an absolutely great question, and there's a lot to get to with that as well. But hey, let's kind of talk about where this kind of game kind of got separated from in favor of our beloved Redlegs.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Turning point today, I think, is Noelvi Marte's triple, scoring Gavin Lux from first. You saw that Cincinnati hustle come back. You saw that emphasis of what they were really missing last year. You kind of saw this Terry Francona buy-in, the smart but successful base running. And it came to advantage. I know Blake Dunn did not have that later in the game, but give Jordan Walker credit. He made a hell of a play on that double play. Blake Dunn still should have been smart enough to get back to first, but I'm not going to do that. It's a fun day. It's a positive day. And it's a beautiful day to talk about the Cincinnati Reds. Let's go ahead and get to Nick Martinez, because I talked about this. I joked about it. Obviously did not get off to the great start, considering what everyone's all concerned about his contract. And he was great today. Goes 6 innings, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 5 hits, was finding his spots, was working his pace, was really, really good. It's the second game in a row we can talk about the fact that he was really solid. So that Miami Marlins game, we went 5 2/3, had 4 strikeouts on 2 earned runs, comes back today and then has a quality start. I believe his first one of the season. So the fact that he's kind of seeing now, he sees what Hunter Green's doing. He sees what Nick Lodol's doing. He sees what Brady Singer's doing and what Andrew Abbott's done since he came back. I know Andrew Abbott's last outing wasn't that great, but I will say that with that being said, we knew what the strength of this team was. It's coming through every day. And Nick Martinez decided he's going to join in on that. I mean, it sounds like the way they were talking today, Rhett Lauder is going to start pitching soon. He's going to pitch in a complex game. So, the horses are coming. And for him, he kind of understands that. Jake, that's a really funny question, actually. That kind of makes me laugh. I don't know, man. But I guess he found a way. So for him, just kind of find his rhythm, because you don't need him to go 6-2 every game, right? You don't need him to have every game like this, but with what they got the other guys. But I certainly know he doesn't want to be a weak point, and he doesn't want to be the guy that people are like, oh man, they won these 4. Here comes Martinez. That's the end of it. And he's not been that. He's been nothing short of excellent these last 2 outings. So I want to make sure we give him his love there as well. I thought he was great today. Got them an absolute win. And then the bullpen picking up where they left off. Carrie right here talks about it. Graham Ashcraft strikes out the side in his inning, a .71 earned run average, found his role. Absolutely found his role. So starts off the party for the bullpen. Tony Santiago comes in, gets a 1 strikeout and completes the inning. And then Emilio Pagan picks up his 8th save, going 1 complete inning, just letting his defense take care of business. Total, Patrick, you're 100% right. Total complete game. Defense was great. Bullpen was great. They hit the ball well. I thought this was probably as good of a, I know it wasn't a blowout game that we had some of those wins, but just about as good as it gets. I'm blown away how good Emilio Pagan has been. And I don't believe, I've done that spiel a million times. You guys don't want to hear it anymore. I get it. But if this is the role he's going to be his best in, sure. Why not? Go with it. He seems to enjoy it. Tito seems to trust him, and it's going pretty well. So I like it. Good for him. Yeah. Shout out to the bullpen today. They were terrific. Great. Just a great day all around, guys. Jose Trevino has made this catching thing awfully fun, hasn't he, for the Redlegs? Let's talk about that here in a moment. But first, let's get to our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
This is a tricky one because you can go Lux or you can go Martinez. I went Lux, but just by the slightest of margins because of the run that he scored from first and then the RBI double that he had to brought in Austin Hayes and make a 3-run game when Lars Nootbaar seemed to have lost the ball in the wall there. You know, that's the stuff that has always happened to the Reds against the Cardinals. So it's nice to see it happen to them against the Reds this time. Love to see it. That Cardinals splits where they're really good at home and then they're really bad on the road is kind of mind-boggling. It's been kind of crazy to see. So today, Jose Trevino, yet another big moment, gets the Reds on the board with a solo shot. So to get in the third inning to kind of get the scoring started, they take the lead in the fourth inning right after that. But, you know, with Martinez having that first inning run they gave up, it almost kind of felt like the ghost of Reds past kind of snuck in your head there for a second, right? You're like, oh, I don't want to go through this again. This stinks. And then Trevino kind of comes up with another huge hit, another clutch at bat. Just been unbelievable. Did anyone have on their bingo card Jose Trevino with an 889 OPS? Now, you can certainly make the case that he might be hitting a little bit over his head, but that's okay. I don't think he's going to be much worse than this throughout the season, especially when Ty Steve comes back. That's the beauty of the National League having a DH now is you can make it to where you have two of these three guys playing at some way, shape, or form every day. And as catchers, if they're part of the DH rotation, that's good for them because they can get a little bit more rest, calm their knees down a little more. I can't see a situation where, you know, I could be wrong, but with Austin Wynns also kind of having no options and no choice, I don't think you can, you know, they're certainly not going to want to designate him because he'll be gone. Someone will pick him up immediately. So I can't imagine Tito is going to want him gone. So just terrific. Yeah, Josh, you make a good point here, man. You can argue Trevino's been the team MVP. He's been awesome, and having to step in for Stevenson being out has been great. Johnny, yeah, he's over 300. It's unbelievable. It's hard to not feel good about this team right now. It's just hard. It feels like everything's kind of going their way, and they're playing really well on all three levels. You're getting contributions from everyone somehow, except for Candelario, which, that conversation today. I can't wait to hear Jeff and Steve talk about that. Unfortunately, that's not my job. I would love to get into that if I could, but I can't. But I do really enjoy this team right now, and I'm having so much fun coming on here every day with you guys, talking about it, good and bad, and enjoying some wins. This rules. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And Branch Brown is here saying it's so nice to enjoy a streak. I had to make sure I read it multiple times to say it wasn't a steak because Branch is a wonderful cooker. So Branch, please bring a grill with you to Bristol so we can have a big party. I'd really appreciate it. But that being said, let's go ahead and close this one out. The Cincinnati Reds victorious tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals, 3-1. The Cincinnati Reds, 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The St. Louis Cardinals, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. Tomorrow, the Reds are back at it for a chance to win their 6th in a row, taking the hill for the Reds, a guy who seems to do so well when he's on the mound. Brady Singer is 4-0 with a 3.62 ERA, looking for his 5th win, while the Reds look to pick at their 6th, going against Miles Michaelis, who is 0-2 with a 5.70 ERA. That game will be at 6:40, so I should be back on around the same time as always. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me each and every day after every Reds game. I really appreciate it. Be sure to tune in as we get to Jeff and Steve's reactions tonight as well. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all for everything. Have a great night and go Red Legs.